You ever have that moment where you can feel every set of eyes, every molecule, hanging in the air? That was me, one hand on the chrome handle of my sedan, the city rumbling behind me. But all I could hear was that voice, raw, desperate, scared. You know what I mean? It's like time folds up and suddenly you're in the middle of a story you didn't ask to be in. Starts barking orders, spins the janitor so hard he hits the limestone wall, keys clattering to the ground. It's ugly, loud, and now everyone's looking. Me, late for a meeting, already fuming. Out loud, from a janitor. I tell the cops, this is an internal matter, we'll take it from here. I buy their silence with a donation, and suddenly this guy's my problem. Graves escorts him upstairs. And now I'm on a different kind of clock. Conference room, 50th floor, glass and marble and city lights. I come in. He's pacing, looking like he hasn't slept in weeks. Timing's off. Everything's accelerated. Finch, the doctor, is making his move. A decoy gurney with a body under a sheet heads for the elevator. It's not my brother, it's a ghost trail. Liam spots the real escape route, an old surgical theater, locked behind steel doors and codes. We have to force their hand, use the emergency purge to flush them out. It's messy, dangerous. But it works. Finch and Vance, cornered, gasping, caught in their own trap. Inside, my brother's on the table, heart monitor screaming, and Liam, of all people, sees the poison bag. Rips it out just in time. He saves Kellen's life. For a heartbeat, it feels like we won. Then all hell breaks loose again. The armed men are coming, the doors buckling. We barricade, scramble. Break into the service elevator, shoot the lock, the car drops, free fall, chaos, gunfire. Graves covering us with everything he has, staying behind, so we can escape. It's a sacrifice none of us saw coming. We crash in the basement, drag my brother to a truck, drive out through a hail of sirens and spotlights, call in the feds. Helicopters descend. Facility swarmed, Finch and Vance in cuffs. Kellen airlifted to a real hospital. Graves, somehow, makes it barely. Days blur. Hospitals, statements, everything coming out in the open. The fraud. The pain, all of it. 6 months later, sunlight on an ordinary porch. Maya and Kellen kicking a soccer ball. Maya runs, strong, steady, laughter pure and real. The new therapy works. The disease is stopped, reversed. I sit with Liam, watch the kids play, Graves nearby. Everyone changed, everyone scarred but here. The world, for a moment, feels right. I look at that porch. The drawing in Maya's hand. A house, an oak tree, all of us together, safe. Liam says he was just trying to be a dad. That's what heroes are, I tell him. Just people fighting for the ones they love. And as the sun sets, I wonder, would you have done the same? When faced with an impossible choice, risk everything for the truth, or live safe in the lie, what would you do? Let me know. Drop your thoughts below. Argue, debate. This is one of those stories that's not really over. Not until we all decide what comes next. Let me back up a sec, because if you're sitting there thinking that's the end of the story, happy porch, sun shining, heroes sipping lemonade, you don't know how real life actually goes. Not when the lines between villain and victim get this blurry, not when power and money and secrets get this deep. See, the world didn't just let us fade quietly into a perfect ending. And if I'm honest, neither did any of us. Truth has a way of sticking around, like a shadow that stretches the farther you walk. In the weeks after that rescue, there were headlines and cameras. Politicians lining up to claim they'd always believed in the science. Angry voices demanding justice. Half the country wanting Finch strung up by his stethoscope. But still that look in his eye that said, "You're not getting rid of me that easy." The man was a wall. Aveline and I sat in 100 rooms. Lawyers, agents, doctors, journalists. Some of them really listened. Most just wanted a quote that'd fit on a headline. Funny, huh? How a janitor can go from invisible to infamous in less than a news cycle. But what nobody saw was the fallout that hit when the cameras went away, the calls in the middle of the night, the lawyers from Shaw Industries, the subtle threats. The questions about how much I knew, and whether my daughter was really sick. Aveline faced her own storm. Board members trying to force her out, the company's stock yo-yoing. Her name trending for all the wrong reasons. She could have distanced herself, could have cut me loose, protected herself. She didn't. Instead, she doubled down, put her fortune, her reputation, her whole damn soul on the line for kids like Maya, for families like mine. That's something you don't forget. Still, if you think that new therapy just rolled out and everyone clapped, nah. The FDA sent a phalanx of inspectors, the insurance giants circled, and the miracle headlines turned to accusations. Experimental, and proven, dangerous. You know how they talk. Maya asked me if her drawings had made the difference. She said, "Did I save Uncle Kellen because I drew him with the sun?" It nearly broke me. I told her, maybe she did. Sometimes. A little hope's all you got, and sometimes it's enough. But there was one twist none of us saw coming. Not even Graves with all his tactical paranoia. A reporter, a real old-school kind, trench coat, notepad, the works, showed up at my door. He had a folder fat with documents, bank transfers, emails, research memos, stuff I'd never seen. He told me, straight up, that Finch wasn't acting alone. The trial data? It had been suppressed from higher up, names I recognized from congressional hearings, a couple from the Langford board itself. Real power, real money. The kind that doesn't leave fingerprints. Suddenly, everything we'd risked, everything we'd lost, it wasn't the end. It was just the first cut. The opening salvo in a war nobody wanted fought in daylight. When I brought this to Aveline, I expected her to hesitate, maybe even walk away now that her family's safe. Instead, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "Let's finish it. All of it. No matter who it hurts." I swear, in that moment, she was braver than I'd ever been. And so we went public, again. Testified. Faced threats. The government did what it always does. Opened a probe, dragged its feet, made promises. Justice, it turns out, is never as fast as you want, never as clean as you hope. Graves ran interference, protected us, got into more than one shouting match with the bureau guys who wanted us to keep quiet for our own safety. Sometimes, being loud is the only safe thing you can do. And through it all, Maya kept drawing. Kellen kept fighting, his body still frail, but his mind sharper than ever, helping the Foundation's doctors. You believe that maybe, just maybe, the world can change. You tell me, was it worth it? Was justice served? Or did we just stir up the next fight? If you've got a take,